Because the 7th is the home to the mortal who caused this problem in the first place. That one who calls himself Goku. That's why Beerus is on the outs.
Of course I know it's wrong, yet I still find the man to be oddly fetching.
Helis, the goddess of destruction of Universe 2, sat on her grand throne in her palace. Her thoughts were far away, lost in memories of a warrior who had left an unexpected impression on her heart. It was impossible to forget the exhibition tournament organized by Zeno-sama, where she had first seen Goku. Helis said, "Why can't I forget him? That Saiyan, so impetuous, so determined, and handsome. I admit I found him handsome from the beginning." She vividly remembered a casual conversation between the gods of destruction and their respective angels before the Tournament of Power. Helis said, "I told everyone that Goku was attractive, and they laughed. Some thought it was funny, others were incredulous. But I don't care, there's something about him that intrigues me." Determined, Helis decided it was time to act. She would open a portal to Earth and invite Goku to a challenge. Their goal was clear, to test the Saiyan's strength and, who knows, lure him to Universe 2. On Earth, Goku was training with Vegeta when he felt a powerful presence approaching. Goku said, "Did you feel that, Vegeta? Someone is coming, and they have a very strong ki." Vegeta replied, Who would dare to bother us now?" Suddenly a portal opened and Helis appeared before them with her elegant and imposing aura. Helis said, "Goku, finally we meet again." Goku replied, "You're Helis, right? The goddess of destruction from Universe 2. What are you doing here?" Helis said, "I'm here to challenge you. I want a one-on-one fight with you. If I win, you'll become a warrior of Universe 2. And if you win, I'll teach you the love Hakai." Goku said, "Love Hakai? I've never heard of that before. Sounds interesting." Vegeta interrupted, "Wait a minute. This is a trap, Goku. We can't trust it." Before Goku could respond, Beerus appeared next to Whis, clearly irritated. Beerus said, "What are you doing here, Helis? This is my territory." Helis replied, "Calm down, Beerus. I didn't come to cause trouble. I just want a little challenge with Goku." Beerus said, "This is nonsense. Goku has nothing to do with your universe. He belongs to mine." Goku replied, "Hey, Beerus, wait a minute. I didn't say I don't want to fight. In fact, I'm interested in this love Hakai thing. It seems like a pretty cool power." Beerus' mouth dropped open and said, "You really are an idiot, Goku. Are you willing to risk everything for a technique you don't even know?" Whis said, This is getting interesting. Maybe we should allow it, Lord Beerus. It could be an opportunity for Goku to expand his horizons." Beerus said, "Don't give me that, Whis. This is crazy." Helis smiled, delighted by Goku's stubbornness, and said, "So Goku, what do you say? Do you accept the challenge?" Goku replied, "Sure, I love a good fight. Let's do it right now." Beerus put his hands on his head, desperate, and said, "Why do I still get surprised by the idiotic decisions you make?" Helis positioned himself elegantly, while Goku prepared himself with his confident smile. Helis said, "Before we begin, let me make something clear. The love Hakai is different from the Hakai you know. It doesn't just destroy physically, but also strikes the heart and soul. It's a technique that requires balance and pure emotions." Goku said, "Wow, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to learn it. But first, I need to beat you, okay?" Helis replied, "Exactly. Show me your strength, Goku. I want to see what makes you so special." The battle began. Goku charged towards Helis with his impressive speed, but the goddess of destruction was no easy target. She dodged with grace and countered with precision. Helis said, "You're fast, Goku, but I need to see more of your power. Show me what you learned from the angels." Goku replied, "All right, get ready." He activated Ultra Instinct, surprising Helis. Helis said, "So that's what makes you special. Ultra Instinct, what a fascinating technique." The fight intensified. Goku and Helis exchanged blows at high speed, creating shockwaves that shook the surrounding terrain. Helis said, "You really are incredible, Goku. Now see the power of my love Hakai." She raised her hand and released a pink energy, which enveloped Goku. He felt a strange warmth in his chest, as if his heart was being touched directly. Goku said, "What is this? It feels different. It's not like Beerus' Hakai." Helis replied, "Exactly. The Hakai of love does not destroy with hatred, but with pure emotions. It is made to bring balance, not chaos." Goku smiled and said, "Amazing! I've never felt anything like this before. Now I'm even more excited." They continued their battle, but Goku finally managed to land a decisive blow, knocking Helis down. Helis slowly stood up, leaning on his knee while wiping his face with his hand. His smile was serene, despite the defeat. Helis said, "You won, Goku. As promised, I will teach you the Hakai of love." Goku scratched his head in surprise. Goku said, I really won. I can't believe it. I thought you were much stronger than that. Helis replied, oh, I am, but you are an extraordinary warrior. Your spirit, your strength, you are unique. While Goku and Helis were talking, Beerus stepped back a little, pulling Whis closer. Beerus spoke softly. Whis, that doesn't make sense. Helis never really wanted Goku to be a warrior from Universe 2. Did you see how she looked at him? She just wanted a moment with him. Whis replied in an equally low tone but with an intrigued smile. Ah, Lord Beerus, don't say you're jealous. Beerus retorted, jealousy of an idiot like Goku? Of course not. But Helis is a scoundrel goddess. She knows Goku is naive and curious. She used that to lure him in. Whis said, even if that's true, Lord Beerus, we can't deny that Goku will learn something valuable. The love Hakai seems to be a rather peculiar technique. Beerus snorted, crossing his arms, and said, peculiar, yes, but useful, I'm still not convinced. Let's see how this turns out. Goku approached Whis and Beerus, still smiling. Goku said, so shall we start training? I can't wait to learn this new technique. Helis approached, his expression soft and gentle. Helis said, of course, Goku, but first I need to explain more about the love Hakai. Goku replied, explain whatever is necessary. I want to learn everything. Helis said, unlike the regular Hakai, which destroys anything it touches, the love Hakai is selective. It only affects those with truly evil hearts. It is a technique that seeks justice, not indiscriminate destruction. Goku tilted his head, puzzled. Goku said, so if I use it on someone who is not evil, it won't work. Helis replied, exactly. That is why the love Hakai requires purity of heart and intention. It is not just a matter of power, but of understanding emotions and balance. Beerus grumbled in the background. Beerus said, it seems too complicated. Whis smiled and said, but it is exactly the kind of challenge Goku loves, isn't it, Lord Beerus? Goku said, absolutely. I love learning new things, and if it can help me protect my friends and the Earth, even better. Helis watched Goku in awe. Helis said, you are truly a remarkable warrior, Goku. Let's begin. They moved to an open area, where Helis began demonstrating the basics of the love Hakai. She raised her hand and created a sphere of pink energy, which emanated a feeling of warmth and peace. Helis said, focus on your purest emotions. Think of the people you love and the reasons you fight. This will fuel the love Hakai. Goku closed his eyes and tried to concentrate, his mind filled with images of Chi-Chi, Gohan, his friends, and even his rivals like Vegeta. He felt a wave of warmth in his chest and opened his eyes, seeing a small sphere of pink energy floating in his hand. Helis watched him with a tender gaze and a soft smile. Suddenly, without saying a word, she approached and before Goku could react, wrapped him in a warm hug. Helis spoke softly. You did it, Goku! Goku, surprised by the gesture, stood still for a moment. He felt the warmth of Helis' embrace and to his surprise, the pink energy sphere in his hand began to slowly disappear until it dissipated completely. Goku spoke. Helis, the Hakai of love is gone. Why? Helis replied, because true love cannot be forced or manipulated. It must be sincere, coming from the heart. You already have it inside you, but the training is not over. Whis and Beerus watched the scene in complete shock. Whis spoke, oh, that's unexpected. It's not every day that we see a goddess of destruction embracing a mortal warrior. Beerus spoke, this is going too far. She's not just teaching a technique. There's something more to it all. Whis, with his enigmatic smile, tilted his head. Whis said, maybe Helis found something in Goku that most of us overlook. Beerus snorted. Or maybe she's just taking advantage of his naivety. Goku has no idea what's going on. Goku pulled away slightly from Helis' embrace, still confused. Goku said, I don't quite understand. Why did you do that, Helis? Helis smiled gently. Helis said, because you deserve to be recognized not only for your strength, but for your pure heart. The love Hakai is a technique that requires that, and I wanted you to know that you already have everything you need to use it. Goku scratched his head, somewhat embarrassed. Goku said, oh, thank you, but I still want to train more. I want to make sure I can use this technique properly. Helis replied, of course, Goku. Like I said, this training isn't over yet. Meanwhile, Beerus shook his head in disbelief. Beerus said, I can't believe I'm seeing this. A goddess of destruction, behaving like this. This is ridiculous. Whis chuckled softly. Whis said, Lord Beerus, maybe it's time to accept that love can be a powerful force, maybe even more powerful than the common Hakai itself. Beerus crossed his arms, still irritated. Beerus said, bah, Love is a distraction, but if Goku thinks it's useful, so be it. I just hope he doesn't end up getting into more trouble because of it. On planet Earth, Goku spoke, Helis, how exactly do I sense who deserves to be destroyed and who deserves to be saved? It seems complicated. Helis replied, don't worry Goku, you already have a pure and instinctive heart. The love Hakai requires you to listen to your heart and sense the true intention of the person before you. Let's do a simple exercise to get started. She extended her hand and, in the blink of an eye, conjured two illusory figures before Goku. One looked like a warrior with a gentle smile, while the other had a dark and menacing gaze. Helis spoke. These are representations of souls. Concentrate on them and try to sense the difference. Which one deserves purification and which deserves a definitive end? Goku narrowed his eyes, focusing on the figures. After a few seconds, he pointed to the figure with the dark gaze. Goku spoke. This one seems to be full of evil. I feel like there's no way back for him. Helis nodded with a satisfied smile. Helis said, very well. That is the essence of the Hakai of love. You must always seek redemption first, but if there is no other choice, the power of the Hakai must be used. Meanwhile, Beerus watched everything with a bored expression. Beerus said, this all seems like a big waste of time. Goku already knows how to fight. He doesn't need philosophical lessons about who deserves to live or die. Whis, on the other hand, was intrigued. Whis said, Lord Beerus, perhaps this is exactly the kind of training Goku needs. He is already a master of brute force, but control and wisdom are just as important as power. Goku turned to Beerus with a determined smile. Goku said, Beerus, I know you think this is unnecessary, but think about it. If I know how to use this technique, I can finish off enemies like Frieza in an instant. I won't give them a chance to do evil again. Beerus snorted, crossing his arms and said, Do you really think Frieza would be purified by that technique? He's a lost cause. Helis interrupted the conversation. Helis spoke. Indeed, Lord Beerus, the love Hakai is effective even against those who seem beyond redemption. If their hearts are completely filled with evil, the technique will eliminate them without a trace. Whis smiled, satisfied with the explanation. Whis spoke, and that is why I consider this training important. Goku may encounter many enemies in the future who fit this description. Goku spoke, then I need to think more about what I'm creating, and not just what I'm destroying. Helis smiled and spoke. Exactly. Now let us begin more intense training. Suddenly the sky closed in even more, and a golden aura enveloped Helis. Helis spoke. Get ready, Goku. I will test your emotional and spiritual endurance. Goku nodded, getting into a fighting stance. Goku spoke. Bring it on. I am ready for anything. Meanwhile, Beerus and Whis continued to watch from a distance. Beerus said, I still think this is a waste of time. Goku is a warrior, not a philosopher. Whis chuckled softly. Whis said, perhaps he needs to be a bit of both to face the challenges ahead, Lord Beerus. Back on the training grounds, Helis advanced quickly, unleashing blows that not only tested Goku's physical strength, but also his ability to maintain focus and composure. Helis said, remember Goku, the love Hakai only works if your heart is at peace. Don't let anger or fear get the better of you. Goku, as he dodged the attacks, reflected on her words. Goku thought, I've always fought with all my strength, but perhaps I lacked balance. Maybe I really need to learn to control my emotions better. After a few minutes of intense combat, Helis retreated, smiling. Helis spoke, very good Goku, you're making progress. Now let's test your ability to use the love Hakai against negative energy. She raised her hand, creating a sphere of dark energy that seemed to pulse with evil. Helis spoke, this is a manifestation of pure darkness. Use the love Hakai to purify it. Goku took a deep breath, concentrating. He remembered Helis' lessons, focusing on the idea of creating light and purifying rather than simply destroying. When he opened his eyes, a pink aura surrounded his body, and he stepped forward, reaching out toward the energy sphere. Goku said, Hakai of love. The dark sphere began to dissipate, turning into particles of light that floated through the air. Helis smiled, satisfied. Helis said, well done, Goku. You did it. Now you understand the true power of this technique. Goku smiled broadly. Goku said, thank you, Helis. That's amazing. I can't wait to use this to protect everyone. Whis, watching from afar, smiled too. Whis said, it seems Goku has found a new path. Beerus, still skeptical, crossed his arms. Beerus said, we'll see if this will actually be useful. But for now, I'll let him continue with this crazy idea. Helis looked at Goku, still smiling after the success of the training. Her eyes shone with a mixture of pride and something deeper that she herself hesitated to admit. Slowly, she moved closer to Goku. Helis said, Goku, you surprised everyone, including me. You learned the love Hakai in such a short amount of time. It's impressive. Goku scratched his head, a little embarrassed. Goku said, Hey, thanks, Helis. I just did my best. Learning something new always makes me excited. Helis, without saying anything else, took a step forward, getting even closer. Before Goku could react, she gently grabbed his face and kissed him. It was a soft kiss, but full of meaning. Goku was completely shocked, his eyes wide as he tried to process what was happening. When she pulled away, a smile played on her lips. Helis said, Sorry for catching you off guard, but I had to do this. There's something about you, Goku. Something that attracts me. Your purity, your strength, it's rare to find someone like that. Goku was still motionless, trying to understand what had just happened. His mind was a complete mess. Goku said, I don't know what to say. Helis laughed softly. Helis said, You don't have to say anything now. Just remember what you learned here. The love Hakai is not just a technique of destruction. It's a way to connect with people's hearts. Goku, still dazed, said, Okay, I'll remember that. Helis raised her hand, creating a glowing portal in front of her. The pink light from the portal illuminated Goku's face, who still seemed lost in thought. Helis said, Our training is over for now, but don't think this is the last time we'll see each other. I'll see you very soon, Goku. I'm sure of it. Within seconds, she disappeared, leaving only the residual glow of pink energy in the air. Beerus and Whis, who were watching from afar, were equally surprised. Beerus said, Whis, did you see that? Whis said, Ah yes, that was unexpected. It seems that Helis has developed a certain fondness for Goku. Beerus snorted, crossing his arms. Beerus said, Ditch, that Goku is a magnet for trouble. I can't believe he didn't even realize what just happened. Whis laughed softly and said, He's still processing it, but maybe that's for the best. Goku needs time to understand what the love Hakai really means in every sense. Meanwhile, Goku was still staring at the spot where the portal disappeared. He touched his lips, still feeling the warmth of Helis' kiss. Goku said, We'll see her again, very soon. Beerus watched Goku, who still seemed lost in thought after Helis' unexpected kiss. The god of destruction of Universe 7 crossed his arms, grumbling softly, but his thoughts were far from any usual complaints. Beerus thought, Itch! This Goku always gets himself into situations I would never imagine, but this technique, maybe it has some value after all. He looked up at the sky, reflecting on everything that had happened up until that moment. The Hakai of love was different from any other technique he knew. It wasn't just about destruction. It was a way to eliminate evil directly from people's hearts. Those who still had some goodness in them could be saved, while those with purely evil intentions would be destroyed instantly. Beerus thought, if this really works like Helis said, then maybe Goku is right. We wouldn't have to worry about villains like Frieza or any other being with a completely corrupted heart anymore. They would be eliminated automatically by the Hakai of love. Whis noticed that Beerus was lost in thought and with a curious smile decided to break the silence. Whis said, Very well, Goku, let's go to Bulma's house. I'm sure you'll have time to reflect on everything that happened here. Beerus took one last look at the sky before following Whis and Goku. Beerus thought, maybe I underestimated this love Hakai. If Goku really masters this technique, it could make a significant difference in the balance of the universe. Let's see what the future holds. With that, Whis created a glowing portal, and the three headed to the Capsule Corporation, leaving the battlefield behind. But one thing was certain, the love Hakai would still have an important role to play in the fate of Goku and all the universes. Guys, this is how we end the story of Goku and Helis. Did you like it? Do you want to see more of the Goddess of Destruction of Universe 2 here on the channel? Comment that I will be reading all the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Goodbye.